So after two of the favorites battling it out in the first match we saw today, between Gonzo and JKV, Quayfox, they now go to two of the contenders, Nilla and JKV. And JKV and Nilla haven't met before in the league because Nilla wasn't here last season, and last season was JKV's first season in Division 1, where JKV did pretty well, but obviously Nilla did so as well in the seasons he played. So should be an interesting one. If the German armor gameplay of JKV can match up with Nilla's quite aggressive all-around matchup, or if Nilla is just able to poke too many holes into his defense. Yeah, let's have a look into the divisions. Nilla for game number 1 will bring around the 20th Panzer, one of the most picked divisions in the league so far. Really well-rounded German armored deck with a lot of aggressive potential, good AA. Interesting to don't see the Flak 43s at all. That's quite surprising, not gonna lie. I think the Flak 43s are still the best AA pieces in the game. Meanwhile, JKV brings around the 12th SS, so also German armored division, a bit more on the heavy side, with 2 cards of Panthers here, and quite a lot of Panzer Grenadiers in half-tracks, some IGs, mobile wagons, one of the key units in JKV's decks. He always loves to bring them around. And obviously quite a couple of Focke Wolves then. Mortar half-tracks and some Wolf Ramen. Artillery tab here, way lighter. The classic mortars for Nilla in A. And air tab ME109s and JU-75. So quite a bit cheaper, but also a bit weaker than what the Focke Wolves can do. So let's see how that all plays out in game number 1. As we are on Orsha North, and I must say, based on the map, I would favor Nilla. He's playing Maverick, and usually on Orsha North he gets pretty good results. And JKV is more the guy for the open maps, also with his division picks already and so on. And he's more the guy for the armored warfare, and his infantry warfare is not bad. Like, he's still Division 1, but I would say Nilla is better at that, so that's where I would favor Nilla in this one. But maybe JKV surprises us. I haven't seen much of him lately. I haven't run into him much on stream or so. I've been playing 1v1 myself, so I don't really know where he is at the moment. But I would expect still high-level play from both sides and an interesting match here on Orsha. Vanguard versus Maverick, also always a pretty cool matchup. We have this back and forth, like first Vanguard, then Maverick, then Vanguard, which is something that I miss in quite a lot of other matchups, where it's just like Vanguard versus balanced, okay, one guy pushes, the other guy defends, that's it, because obviously we still don't have a time limit. Here's hope that we will get it someday. One day, baby, we will have a time limit. We will have a time limit. And tell all the stories that we could have told about earlier games with time limit. Or something. So, let's see. Nilla brings in quite a couple of Flammenwerfers in the middle. Flammenwerfers everywhere. On the other side, only Sturmpioneers Hitlerjugends. No Flammenwerfers. Overall, relatively slow transports and units for JKV against Nilla's usual Replit deployment. Let's see if Nilla can exploit that. He's obviously already trying to get one of the flags in the middle. Maybe he will adjust his deployment a bit when he sees how deep he actually can push. We will have to see in a second. Tier 34 in the south. One Panzer IV Führer and a small Panzer 3N in the north. Against 2 Panzer IV of JKV. Also brings his IGs in with transport. He brings his IGs in an SDKZ 251/9. JKV always loving any possible armored transport that he can find around. That's another key aspect of his play, I would say, together with the mobile wagon start. So it doesn't bring the mobile wagon start around this season, and still I think that's fine. Nilla not the player with the most airplay. Speerwagen and Pack 40 over here engaging a pack. But Speerwagen has to be careful. Gets taken out already, and now the Pack 40 is alone. And that's an issue. MG42 also over here gets taken out by 2 MG42s of Nilla. And SDKFZ over here gets engaged by a pack. Has to disengage. IG will return fire though. Pack 40 also trying to do its best. So far Nilla getting the flag in the open, thanks to smoke. It protects his flammenwerfers for now. But now the IG opens fire. Obviously on long range, IG is really helpful. If the MG42s don't get in range, usually the MG42s nowadays win that fight pretty easily. In the north, 2-2-2 moving in. Panzerschrecks are mixed in with the Panzer Grenadiers though everywhere to balance out the lack of AT weaponry on the infantry itself. So the half-tracks and 222s have to be careful. Panzer 3N gets its turret stuck over here. Panzer 4H Führer also penetrated once already. So that's a good start in that engagement for JKV. Nilla coming in with an ME109. Has to be careful now about the Focke-Wulf. Does he dodge at the right time? No. Oh. JKV micros his plane now. Should be able to get the ME109 shut down. Doesn't do so. Will he still manage to do so? No. ME109 now, Focke-Wulf now has to play the long curve, and that's too long. With a bit of air micro there, JKV could have gotten the kill. But that's not his strong suit. Like, Focke-Wulf air micro is not how he got here. He's not bad at airplay. He, I think, won against, in the one game that he played against, like in the one series against Kama last season, I think he won the air fight, for example. But that was more based on his combined arms with his AA than on his airplay alone. Like, his air units alone usually don't perform overly effective. Unlike, for example, soloing Pixies. Black 41 comes in onto the battlefield. Panzerschrecks everywhere, really good for Nilla. Picking off more and more half-tracks, 222s and half-tracks in the north all gone. Panzer Grenadiers trying to come in against the Pioneers and the Panzer 4, but they don't get in range for the Panzer Faust, so they have to disengage there. Storm Pioneers for now holding the northern part, but 2 Panzer 4s now on the way trying to help out the Panzer Grenadiers in this engagement. But they have to disengage for now. They have to run away from the Pioneers. Can't really do much against that. Focke-Wulf not really hitting the right spot. Black 41 now coming in out in the open. Maybe a bit too close to this hill line over here. I would maybe position it here where it cannot be shot at from the hill. I think this is a bit too aggressive in its deployment because now Panzer 4s and so on, or IG-18s and so on. Even MG-42s nearly can engage that now. So, not the biggest fan of this Flak 41. It's like, I like the Flak 41, I just don't like the positioning too much. 1311, meanwhile, for Nilla. Grabs the flag in the south. Still pressures the north, but his Pioneers get taken on by the Panzer 4H. Came around from the flags over here. Really low amount of infantry right now on the battlefield for JKV though. He has to bring up a bit more. As I said, he brings in 3 more Panzer Grenadiers, 1 more in the south. Obviously has to be careful to not lose that to any anti-tank shenanigans. But if he doesn't, that at least will help out quite a bit in the infantry department of this match. Meanwhile, Nilla also bringing out the first couple of AA pieces with the Gepards. Black 41 trying to get the ME109 maybe a bit off target against the Speerwagen. Still hits pretty well, but the ME109 turns perfectly for the Focke-Wulf to align and get his first kill there. Nice pickup there for JKV. Black 41 and Focke-Wulf combined together there. But he's under a lot of pressure in the south. More Panzer Grenadiers coming in the north together with some Storm Pioneers. Speerwagen 233 moving through the forest here. Might be able to actually get a side shot here on the Panzer 4. Not hitting with the first shot though, as it's quite stressed out, and now it has to disengage. JKV realizing that as well, gets it out of there. Good micro there on his end. Meanwhile, Panzer IV moving through the forest together with Panzer Shrek. Panzer Grenadier DP should be a bit careful. You don't want to run into a Storm Pioneer in the forest. Especially not one with 2-star veterancy. Focke Wolves try to relieve the Panzer Grenadier in the building over here. Pinning down something with their rockets. Not quite managing to do so, but the other Panzer Grenadiers from the other side now want to help out as well. Meanwhile, the Panzer Grenadiers here continue moving on. Focke Wolf maybe should get out now. IG-18 holding on as well. It's really the rectangle, the weird forces that we are used to from JKV, the Ragtag group. Just a lot of interesting units on the battlefield, trying to hold their ground and getting the enemy in awkward trades. Half-tracks, Panzer Grenadiers, those small little support cars that get the IG-18s in. Panzer IVs everywhere as well, even in the forest fights. But nilla so far trading it out a bit more efficiently and also getting the flags, and that's the key element here. Even though he's playing Maverick, nilla is the one pushing in, and that might be really tough in B phase for JKV. Like trade-wise, I don't even think it's too much into the favor of nilla, but just the flag situation right now is a bit worrying for JKV in my eyes. Because that means 30 minutes only. And these 30 minutes mean that he only gets ever so slightly into B phase. And it's, as I said, at the moment JKV on the income advantage, so let's see how it goes when it's actually nilla on the income advantage. U22 in the south. Engages the T-34 76. The 87 D5 in the north now. Mr. will back up. The Flak 41 will try to stop it. Not sure if a 0-star Flak 41 though can do it. Fire rate a bit too low maybe. It's close. Yeah, it gets the clusters off, and that's quite bad. Doesn't kill anything, but it pins down everything. And that's already bad enough here for JKV. Really clutch there. Like half a second earlier from the Flak 41, and that wouldn't have happened. But the way it is, it allows nilla to get in there. Early unload from nilla. Not quite realizing how much damage he actually did there. And this way the Panzer IV is allowed to escape. Bit lucky there for JKV after being unlucky, so IG-18 coming in, trying to get back in here. The flag situation is rough. He has to do something about it. He got the Panzer IV over here. Panzer Shrek still around. Storm Pioneer is also helping out with cleaning out the infantry, and there's not much in the south right now, so maybe he can come back here. But obviously the Panzer Shreks might be able to put something in the gear of JKV there once more. Like these two Panzer IVs might be prime targets there. IG-18 trying to push in, trying to secure this flag again. One Panzer IV has fallen again for JKV in the north. The other one is pushing forward. Meanwhile, the Panzer IV of JKV going really deep, but having its turret on a completely wrong spot, getting penetrated once here by the T-34. T-34 even may be able to get the second shot out? No, second shot. So Panzer IV also gets a penetration in, but T-34 finishes it off. So this collapses again. 11-13 right now for JKV. Will be 10-14 in a second again. He has the better airplanes. He only needs enough feet on the ground, it feels like, being the issue here, really. Like, the trades are pretty okay. Trades are pretty okay. Even got a Gepard up here. Got a Gepard killed right there. Panzer IV gets the T-34. Now the other Panzer IV will most likely get the one of JKV though. And that might actually mean that he loses this flag, and that would be again a 59 for nilla. Like, nilla always relentless in his pushing. Always trying to find an opening. JKV though, pretty strong defensive player, so he might be able to get this back under control, but we are now in B phase, and this is now the phase where it will be the most pressure on JKV, and he will really have to show how good he actually is in this matchup. Panzer Grenadiers getting back into the forest. More Panzer Force coming in the north. IG-18s coming in as well. Pantakers, I don't think I will cast more today then. I will continue tomorrow, but after this I think I want to play something myself. 4 games casted per day, I think is a good amount for me. That's somewhat where my sweet spot is. Like 41 over here engaging. Like, some points 6 is fine as well, but figured when I do 6 or 8, I often just get too tired at the end and just don't perform it that well anymore. So I told myself to maybe limit myself to 4, and that's what I'm gonna do today as well. And then we will have a slow Imperator Rome or so gameplay afterwards. Panzer 4H is pushing in the north. Panzer 4H over here got picked off by the ones of JKV. So JKV getting the tank trades. Losing now to the Panzer 4G over here. Getting the flags back in the middle. 11-13 for now. Nilla bringing heavy reinforcements in the south though. But that's a lot of armor. Oh my god. That's a lot of armor for JKV. JKV trying to get Nilla off guard here. And it might work out. We will have to see here. A couple of infantry squads getting caught out in the open. How they're helping with that. That's being pushed back. A couple of infantry units might be nice here, but he also has to reinforce in the south. Though, I think JKV would be fine if both sides just trade flags. So, both tanks penetrating each other here. Panzer 4 is the first one to reload though, as it has more veterancy and gets the kill there. Next T-34 of Nilla coming around should be able to finish the Panzer 4 off though. Oof, but it shoots on the move. That's a big mistake. Panzer 4 gets the penetration in. Nilla on attack move here. Panzer 4 gets the next shot and gets both kills. Ooh, big mess up there by Nilla. Not on hunt order, but on move order. Killing off his own T-34 with that. That's a big relief for the south, because that means no tanks for Nilla here in the south. And no AT whatsoever. No AT whatsoever. That makes it quite a bit easier there for JKV to hold on there, whilst pushing in himself in the north with all the spay wagons and the Panzer Force. Let's see how far he can go. Nilla getting flag over here, but it is a 12-12 for JKV, and that's really good for him. Gets a flag in here, so both sides taking every possible flag with some sneaky moves, like, don't ask me how this Pioneer got in here. With the Panzer Grenadiers and so on around, but it managed, and that's what is important. Meanwhile, Nilla getting the 2 flags over here with his infantry, but one Panzer Grenadier with half-track might be able to get it back. So the Panzer 4G over here is on the prime spot. Could maybe get it back once more. Panzer Grenadiers in the open getting caught though. 2-2-2. We'll finish them off. Next Panzer Grenadier coming in. And the armored push in the north of JKV continues. Got quite a couple of tank kills. Panzer Grenadiers here should be finished off in a second as well. So JKV now up to a 13-11 in B phase. He's in a really good spot right now. Wow. Like, it looked kind of rough for him in the south for a while, but after killing the T-34s and so on, he really turned that game around for now. Nothing is decided yet, but I thought he was on the back foot, and right now I see him in charge, especially with him also having the longer breath with the incomes. The board Stalin is around though, never underestimate the power of that, as it can now, for example, take on the Flak 41 and just win that engagement, which would be troublesome, obviously, for JKV. Board Stalin trying to turn, might get penetrated here. Yeah, gets penetrated once. Oh my god, another messy start here for Nilla. If the Flak 41 gets another lucky penetration in, that would be really bad. But obviously on this range, Flak 41's penetration chances should be near 0. So maybe it can pin down the Border Stallion before the Border Stallion kills it though, together with the IG-18. And if the Border Stallion has to retreat, it might actually show side armor again. Focke-Wulf Bomber tries to finish it off now. His single Gepard shouldn't be able to stop it. Is that the kill on the Border Stallion? Not quite. It's only a small bomb there. Gepard gets killed for it though, for trying to protect the Border Stallion. Border Stallion gets pushed back, and JKV is back up to 1311. Tank engagements now in the north. Quite a lot of tanks for Nilla coming in as well. And the two groups of JKV get caught piecemeal. So that's something good for Nilla here. Getting the one half killed off before the second half of the armored forces can attack as well for JKV. But meanwhile, JKV is getting control of the south back. And the Border Stallion is heavily damaged. What a game! What a game! Like, yeah, Division 1 so far is really delivering. I mean, sure, we had that one-sided game between Grey Fox and Gonzo, but even that was entertaining. And, like, all the games we had so far were pretty cool. Like, we see quite a couple of different playstyles, like JKV's heavy armor playstyle with a lot of half-tracks and so on. Meanwhile, Nilla's more nimble 20th Panzer with mortars and way more infantry and so on. And it's a lot of high levels of play as well. Like, the combination is really cool. I have the feeling like Season 5 will be becoming my favorite season yet in Steel Division League. JOD7 once more getting clutch bombers to strike out, and this time it actually gets some kill. Black 41 and Focke-Wulf should be able to finish it off, especially if JKV maybe starts to micro his planes, his AA pieces finally. Ooh, Flak 41 now getting engaged by Border Stallion and mortar fire though. But the Focke-Wulf gets the kill on the JOD75. SK18 coming in. Not quite sure if it's yet the time for artillery pieces. I don't think it's ever the time for artillery pieces against Nilla, to be honest. He's just... The thing you have to do against Nilla is defending. You don't have to win in the long trade fight against him. The only thing you have to do is defending, and then he will usually be killed or he has won at some point. Like, he is relentless, so I don't think an SK18 is the unit that you need on Orsha North against him. Also, Flak 41 is stuck against the Border Stallion. Maybe if another fighter bomber would be nice. Focke-Wulf trying to come in. The bomber is going to the north. Rockets as well. Not sure if that's the right choice. I think one bomber, like one 500 kilogram bomb, should be able to kill off the Stallion. I think that would be really helpful, as it will also keep your Flak 31 in life. So, sure, against the Panzer Force it's also maybe helpful, but north it would have been better. And now we see some nice smoke play again from Nilla, setting up a wall of smoke, sending his Panzer Grenadiers in there for some nice capturing of flags. Meanwhile, the south is still getting pushed by JKV and his pioneers, getting himself a flag, getting himself a 12-12. Focke-Wulf continue to be annoying for Nilla, but the 1311 is back on his side. 17 minutes on the clock. And here we go. Another Focke-Wulf coming around. I mean, it says 12 rounds per minute. And so that's all one shell all 5 seconds. So no, I think the IG is really firing as fast as it says on the card. Also, obviously, 1-star veterancy, so that means 15 rounds per minute. So that means one shell all 4 seconds. And the Border Stallion goes down to this Focke-Wulf finally. Panzer Grenadiers and Ersatztruppen though on supreme spots right now to hold this town. And the tank push in the north got eaten alive. JKV had the initiative there, but really that he got killed off in separate groups, and then the JOD7 finishing it off completely was brutal, and allowed Nilla to get back to in the 15-9 position that might win him the game here. Meanwhile, he brings in more Panzer Force in the south. Gepard here was able to deal with a couple of the pioneers. Panzer IV though, still keeping the Panzer Grenadiers here at bay. Be able to get the flag back here in a second, yeah. But JKV now needs all reinforcements in the south, while it's Nilla with his last C-phase income, invests into 3 more Panzer IVs, B-phase income, into 3 more Panzer IVs in the south. His last good income. Now he is down to 80 points, but maybe what he has on the field is enough to break through here, or like finishing off the game. Panther on the map. Not a big fan. On Oshur, I wouldn't play Panthers at all, even with 12 SS. Like, the only place where you maybe could put a Panther is over here. But you already have Pak 40s for that, so you don't really need them. Panther D gets the kill there, but it's already penetrated. One more penetration and it's dead. So Panther D has to be really careful with against 2-star veterancy Panzer IVs in CQC scenarios. So Panzer IVs always win, even in the 1v1. So I don't really see the point there. Nilla now going up to 17-7 again. The back and forth in this match is just so beautiful. Like, this is what I want to see when I see when I get into a Steel Division 2 game. Both sides giving their best, going in there, pushing, getting pushed back and forth. Oh no, the Panzer IV still has a turret in the wrong direction. Okay, might the Panzer IV of JKV be able to take both out? It gets again the first shot out. It gets penetrated once now as well, but it will also get the second shot at first out. So, and usually in a Panzer IV duel, that's another penetration and that's another kill. Yeah, whoever gets the first shot out usually wins in a 1v1 situation between 2 Panzer IVs. And it is the same this time for JKV. So getting 2 more Panzer IVs with his one. This Panzer IV though should be able to finish it off, because this is still a healthy one. Pioneers coming in. And the Air Force is still on his side. The question is, will he get it around in enough in time? And especially if Nilla goes to an 18-6, then it becomes really troublesome here. It's already only 5 minutes 30. Gets a Panzer IV killed. And Nilla starts to look quite a bit weak in the center again. Another Panzer killed off by the Fokker Wolf. Can JKV push him in time again, in the center maybe? I think this is the best position to take flags again. Maybe with some half-tracks and a Panzer IV. It will be tough. It will be tough, but it is possible. Now also Nilla finally got Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Fausts, so the half-tracks can't just run around anymore. And the Panzer IVs of JKV and bully the infantry of Nilla. And it looks like JKV maybe had the wrong focus, because he exactly pushes where Nilla expects it. And also there's, I mean there's 3 flags here, maybe 4 if you go here, but I at this map usually push in the middle in situations like that, because usually the enemy doesn't have much, and if you can push a bit in here, you have quite a lot of flags to take. Like, that's another Ocean Wolf lesson. Nobody expects the middle push. And usually these flags are easy pushovers if you send any force in there. Yeah, obviously not always, but quite often. Panzer IV over here gets killed off though, and it looks like Nilla might be able to get this one home. Panzer IVs and Pioneers engaging over here. Pioneers have to disengage. Panzer Grenadiers of Nilla pushing in. Getting pinned down here as well though. Panzer IV of JKV retreating. Don't want to lose that one here. Pak 40 got the snipe on the Panzer IV over here. JKV has to find a solution for that southern problem right now. Pak 40 is here still. Panzer Grenadiers pushing in the open. Panzer IV is now coming in over here as well. But even losing this flag right now, yeah, he gets pushed hard in the north right now. And obviously only getting 100 points also means that he doesn't get too many reinforcements either. I mean, he gets not even a full Panzer Grenadier squad more per minute right now, as we are at minute 25. Pak 40 and Flag 41 though are able to kill off the Panzer IV in the middle, and that might allow the Panzer Grenadier here to push the front line over this flag. But it's an 18-6 at the same time as Nilla takes 2 flags in the south. Half-tracks try to come around, but nice play with the front line of Nilla here. 17-7 again as the flag over here goes into the hands of JKV for a second, but only 1.5 minutes right now. Yes, he tried to go for the wrong flags here. Nilla expected that and invested into a solid defense up in the north. And it looks like after a 30-minute battle, or nearly 30-minute battle, this match will be over relatively soon. Really nice matchup. I like what I've seen. And it kind of went as expected. It just felt like, yeah, this is a nilla map. And like, if I would have to associate nilla with any maps, Orsha North comes up pretty high on the list. If not on top of the list. And JKV is more, I don't know, is Slutsk. I think Slutsk is a map I would say is a JKV map. So maybe we will get a better, more favorable map for him in game number 2. And maybe he can use his armor a bit better there. Fokker Wolf bombers and so on still coming in. Trying to return the power balance back into his favor, but so far he's struggling. And 48 seconds will not be enough to change that. Panzer 4H comes around. 15. 50 rounds per minute, 1 per second is a bit much. All 4 seconds is a bit more realistic. I'm pretty sure if you would fire 50 rounds per minute with that tube, you could throw it away pretty quickly. Like, you wouldn't fire that many rounds with it before the gun is completely gone by overheating. JKV here gets the better trades, actually, as you can see. So it was a close match. But obviously, he had more investment into air, and he had less income because Nilla had Maverick. So that's why Nilla had more on the ground, as also JKV had the more expensive units. So Nilla secures himself the victory here. It was a pretty cool match, though. And even though Nilla won it with a 17-7 or so in the end, it wasn't as one-sided as that suggests. Really good play here by Nilla. Really, really good play. But also JKV showing his strengths, and I'm excited for game number 2. I'm really excited for game number 2. I will load that up quickly, guys, and then we see each other and these two guys fighting it out in 4 minutes. So, see you in a second. Thanks for the follow, Conration. so it is time for our sellout section. And thanks for the follow, Conration. And yeah, if you want to contribute and help out these players, earn a bit of money with all of these, all of the effort they're putting in, and I think after the last game they really deserve that, you can do so without paying anything yourself. You can let the money magically appear. All you have to do is go to Matcherino in the chat, or use the link down below. Then you come to this lovely website. Then you use the code SDL5 and put 50 cents in there. Obviously, you could also just buy something in the store down here that pleases you, or put some money in directly, like Curiously or Jabbo did, and support the tournament, support the whole thing, and support the players as well. And now, let's get back into the series. And let's get back to what Nilla plays. As we are on Matcherino, and Nilla will show us a 7th Mechanized, again with Maverick. And he brings along quite a lot of T-34s, obviously, as we are in 7th. Only one ISU card coming in B. Quite a couple of SU-85s, since the 85mm got buffed. AA tab is also what's the standard. One P2 and one P3 card. And quite a lot of infantry, with the Automachikis obviously coming in half tracks. And then, on the other side, we now have JKV playing the 20th Panzer. So let's see if they give him as good of a result as they gave Nilla. He plays them obviously a bit differently though. He also has the T-34s in A. He has the Panzer 3 and L in A though. Or the Stalin comes in here as well. Panzer 3N we also saw. And then Ersatztruppen, Stoßtruppen, Panzergrenadier DPs as well in A. But Panzergrenadiers with Panzerfausts, so he will have some Panzerfausts in A, and he has some Panzerfausts in B. And only in C phase he has the normal Panzergrenadiers with good availability. No leaders for him, so the leaderless infantry gameplay seems to continue. Battery Ferrero in here. And also quite a bit more in the artillery tab. Once more SK-18s, once more Warfarmen. And I think the SK-18s and so on usually are okay to have in. Obviously they cost you a card, and I'm a bit questioning no recon units at all. But against Nilla, you don't need them. Like, there's never a situation where the SK-18s are like time efficient enough against Nilla. Let's put it like that, time efficient enough to change the game. So that's the thing I'm questionable of in his deck. Martyrs, Pack 40s, all cool though. So let's jump into the game. And we have JKV on the blue, on the left, with his 20th Panzer. And Nilla on the right, with his 7th Mechanized. Double check once more. Okay, let's start the timer again. Okay. Still had it on pause. Okay, so let's see what they deploy. Already got a Flak 41. Okay. So we are away from armored Wagen starts and more 2 Flak 41s from the get-go for JKV this season, it looks like. He likes his AA starts though, that's for sure. And I think that's just fine. I think that's just fine. 52Ps coming in as well. 12 KDPs coming in as well. Also, I don't know if you heard it, so I will repeat it once more. Thanks for the follow, Conration. Much appreciated. Every follow really keeps me more motivated to continue with doing all of this. Also lovely to see that my YouTube channel lately does really well. Got like 150 followers in 25 days or so, which is basically like 50% more than I had before that period. A lot thanks to War in the Pacific, which also now nearly got 2,000 views, or like 1,500 views on the first video of that episode, and like overall like 3,000 views together combined, which is pretty cool. And then my 1v1 and casts and so on, they are doing pretty well as well. If you want to check the YouTube channel out, !YT gets you there. Chickies coming in. SD2 is in the south. I'm also trying to get myself a bit into more making real YouTube videos, like with a bit of cutting and so on. Teaching myself DaVinci Resolve at the moment to maybe get some a bit more professional looking YouTube videos together as well. Maybe even getting an intro or so, but yeah, we gotta see how that goes, how much time I have. But Twitch is still the main focus. Talking about Chicky coming around. C2P is coming around. Over here. And more M42s. These 76s. More M42s in the north. All little light stuff for nilla. And they are pretty. The M42s are pretty nice against Panzer IVs and against Panzer IIIs especially. And yeah, it's cool to get Vulcan HD gaming. Yeah, like Vulcan is doing such a good job for the community by getting so many people into it and so on. It's really nice to have a real professional in our midst. Like 41 coming around as well. And obviously he's also like the benchmark to maybe reach at some day in level of quality and so on, but that's still quite a bit off. That's still quite a bit off, not gonna lie. Talking about Chicky. SU-76s. SU-76s in the south as well. These are really good now, since they got 10 hit points. They do a pretty good job as tanks ashore. No units whatsoever deployed yet by JKB over here, but obviously that should change. Like, would be a big mess up if not. JKB always one of the bit slower deployers when it comes to Division 1. You like guys like Nilla are done in basically 3 minutes or so usually. The eager players that always want to get into the game. JKB is a bit more on the relaxed part of it. A bit more thoughtful maybe as well. Well, KDPs, talking about Chickies. Maybe also a bit less automized, because yeah, vanilla it's just rapid deployment. It's like, I think I'm also pretty quick, but I'm nowhere near that quick in setting up my forces usually. I did drink for it. What the hell, Reef? What are you talking about? I drank for every one of them. Don't say I didn't do it. Just when I came back, I drank. What the hell? Come on. You're just not watching. You're just not watching. Slug 41. Will be interesting to see how that goes. Here we go. MG42 in the north. Pack 40 coming in over here. Another Pack 40 in the south. And here comes the T-34 round as well. Magnum Chicky in the north. Magnum Chicky over here as well. And quite a couple of support guns and Radvedkas over here. The Radvedka goes a bit deeper, yeah. That's an okay position. Might be able to unload it into the next forest there. Will be interesting to see how the metal fight goes with the 52Ps on one side and then IGs and like 41s on the other side. Oh, that's an interesting position for a Flak 41. Not quite sure if the line of sight there is actually good enough for it, but it's a cool positioning nonetheless. Like, let's see if that works out. If that works out, I will steal that placement from JKB, but I'm not 100% convinced yet. He has to convince me with that. MG42 in the north. And we are back on the 12-12 here. Meanwhile, Radvedkas and Strelkis is coming in over here. M42 shutting down the open. And 52P now starts firing. Yeah, the valley in the middle on this map is just such an interesting hard to fight over. Like, the map really becomes different to all the other maps thanks to this feature in the middle. You could otherwise compare it pretty much to Ocean North. Like, I mean, quite a bit, couple of long ranges in the center and then forests on either side. With like this one lane down here. But center is just so awkward and always gives us interesting matchups. Like last season in the semifinals, Karma versus Grey Fox on this map was just such a wild game. And it's cool that we also develop such stories by now. Like, Skill Division 2 is now at the point where, and the league is now at the point where we can talk about like this thing in that season, in that semifinal. And all the maps get stories, all the divisions get stories, the players get stories against each other. You can see, guys, I'm really hyped for this season. And we just gotten started. We're just gotten into the group stages. Nowhere near the playoffs or anything. And the storylines and the skill level are already top-notch. M42 over here. Engages to 52 piece. Is this engaging? Okay. I think the MG42 could have taken that fight, but JKV doesn't think so, so he retreats out of there. At least the MG42 doesn't die. On the way out. Well, KP here engaging the Ersatztruppen, and the AE should just stay in the forest. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. More Panzer 3Ls. Also, thank you, Blackbird Blitz and Narration for the kind words. Stuff like this, always appreciated. SDKFZ pushing in over here, but the Razvedkas and the PTRDs make usage of half-tracks against the Soviets and Division like 7th Mechanized always a bit awkward. Valky DPs and Guardia DPs are pretty nice when it comes to dealing with half-tracks. Especially the German ones that have a bit less DPS than the 50 cal ones of the Americans. Or the Soviets. SD2 long range engagement over here. And so far this match is grade-wise going really well for Nilla. So far he hasn't lost much and he killed off quite a couple of units. Like, no major decisive engagements or so, but just a couple of nice trades. Loses Chalky SVT at least down here, so that's a nice catch there for JKV with his Pak 40. The Pak 40 has to be careful, because if infantry just runs up on it, then it will get shut down pretty quickly as well. So the two Panzer Grenadier DPs here are really needed to help out with that situation. Also the T-34, he has to be careful that it doesn't get run down by Automachikis and their AT grenades. Meanwhile in north, Panzer 3Ls and Martyrs appear, trying to deal with the situation here. Panzer 3Ls coming in, Ersatztruppen getting killed off, Strelky and Razvedka doing a good job there. Thanks for the follow, Rapstew 1984. Welcome to the community. P3 meanwhile, on the hunt for the IG-18. Flak 41 moved a bit further forward though, and together with the Flak 43 is able to shoot it down, and that's what, like, one-star Flak 43s are just such beasts. Like, a P3 is usually one of the hardest planes to shut down, and Flak 43 let it look easy. J87 is disengaging as well. P40 gets forced back in time. Basically just in time, actually. J87 gets its clusters dropped off, and SU-76 bites into dust. Two good things there for JKV happening. Getting the air kill, and getting the J87 D5 through without losing it. So, there were some nice wins there, finally, for him. Some things going into his favor after so far not getting many victories on the board. He plays quite a bit more air heavy than Nilla. So on the board, on the battlefield, he has to be a bit careful to maybe not getting overwhelmed by Nilla's forces. Marder 1 now around trying to live with 52p. Also, Nilla has adjusted to last game, I think, realizing that JKV plays as air heavy as he does, so he brought out two 37mm already. Overall, quite a slow game for a Nilla game, but what I feared would happen happened for JKV, losing his T-34 down here to the Automachiki, running it down, and then Pak 40 got overrun as well. So nice kills there for the Automachikis, even taking out a Panzer Grenadier DP as well. So that's a nice win there for Nilla. Basically nearly trading out already for the air losses that he took. So he's not in a bad spot at all. Stoßtruppen here though should be able to keep the red guy at bay with the Molotovs, forcing them to move, and moving targets always take extra damage, so that's making it pretty nasty to engage into units with Molotovs. IG-18 coming around. Stoßtruppen getting pinned down in the center by SU-85. The M42s will try to engage the Martyrs. And now getting engaged by the MG42 still. And Strelke tried to help out as well. Martyr, though, against two M42s is not a good fight. One M42 at least goes down, though, making it at least somewhat even. 52p engaging the MG42 over here. KTB not under fire by the Panzer 3 alts. Panzer 3N coming in as well, though. And the Flak 41. So yes, JKV always someone who tries to get the combined arms up and play from that stage onward. Tries to survive the early game, then gets the combined arms, and then tries to push with that. Obviously also capable of just heavy armored pushes, like we saw last game, where he just invested into so much armor and then tried to overrun Nilla, but it didn't work out there. And maybe the more combined arms approach this time will work out. Panzer 3N now coming out there, but sadly no infantry left here. Both MG42s went down to the 52p and the Strelke. So at least he got both of the M42s as well. E40 has to be careful. Now we'll try to engage the JU-87 again, but JU-87 could even finish it off with a head-to-head, I think. Flak 41 got pinned down. JU-87 not going head-to-head though, and that will kill it. As the 37mm should be able to finish it off. They're still firing, so yeah. JU-87 is gone. A nice victory in the air there for Nilla. Nilla overall looks like he has the control in this game. It's still good play here for JKV, but it looks like Nilla is just a bit ahead and everything. Bit more micro all around the map. Couple more better engagements. Catching out the IG as well. Always just that bit further ahead. And makes me a bit worried here for JKV in this series. Panzer 3L coming in as well. And yeah, I think Nilla is not a good opponent for JKV's playstyle. He's way too aggressive for JKV. Like, JKV is not bad in his defensive play, obviously, and so on, but he doesn't get to the combined arms that he wants to achieve. He always gets pressured, and Nilla always tries to get any single advantage that he can, any single trade that he can. And the composition that JKV plays against that is just not that good. Like, you have to play a bit of a different composition, as I already pointed out in the deck builder. Making it quite... like, if he can get it up, then Nilla's attacks will just completely die out, I think. But the question is, can he get it up? Yeah, Conration, they already played. We already casted that one. It was a pretty quick cast. Yeah, game number 1 was pretty close. Game number 2, not so much. Flak 41, getting the P41 here and down. But the MG-109 already got killed off by the AA. And if you let the enemy get into this position, you're in trouble on this map. Panzer 3L though, kill off the SVTs. It's quite a couple of forces here around for JKV. Flak 40 coming in the center. Like, it's really not like it's a one-sided series, but just feels like one player is a bit better here than the other in the matchup. D42 comes around. We would need to see a really nice play here at some point, like a really nice push. Like basically what he tried last game, but with a bit better execution. But I don't know where. Like maybe in the middle? Maybe a Hail Mary push in the middle, but losing another J87 here hurts. Like, where could JKV do something like that again? Because if he just continues doing what he's doing right now, I think he will lose. He needs a consecutive follow-up of good trades here. The other series got won by Gonzo. 2-0. E40N flying around. Really showing why he is the GOAT in Steel Division 2. And why I still would consider him the GOAT, even though Kama bested him last season. After I got killed over here, Redvedka and Strelky coming around as well. And there's 3N against M42. IG18 coming around as well. The P40N will try to do something maybe at some point, but I don't know, I think it's just there to maybe kill off J87s when they come around. Strelky DPs get killed off finally. There's again maybe a bit of a lack of AT, but there's, oh no, it's not really, because there's not enough forces up in the north to do so. We will now try to overwhelm the Flak 41. But at the same time, JKV gets some good straights here right now. Will kill off the Strelky and might kill off the AA even afterwards. The AA bit out of position here, I'm not gonna lie. The AA feels a bit out of position. Redvedka though comes around. Might be nasty. MG42 tries to get in there. Whammy 109 coming in a bit too early though. The AA is not quite dead yet. And the Flak 41, on the other hand, is kinda. Because there's just so much firing at it now. Got pinned down, Martyr is down. So yeah, Nilla with overwhelming forces right now in the north. The setup not quite right for JKV there. This looks quite grim. E40 still flying around. IG sitting on the hill. Panzer currently is down here in the south, getting overwhelmed now as well. It's one of those classic pressure on all front Nilla plays. When he gets ahead a bit, he pressures everywhere and just sees where he can achieve the breakthrough and gets the trades there. Maybe trading a bit poorly like over here, but still overall getting ahead by killing off something like the Martyr and the Flak 41 in the north, but no losses there. So sure, he lost an AAP, sure he lost maybe an M42, but overall he still got the better out of all these trades. So it will be tough for JKV to stick in here. Panzer 3L going down as well. SU 85 now engaging the T34 42 over here. 76 module gets the kill there as well. Pack 40 should be able to get the kill back if Nilla is not microing the SU-85. It doesn't look like he does that right now. 2 penetrations in. Okay, gets out now. Boy to Stalin. Tries to hold the front line here for JKV. Doesn't hit the T-34 though. Meanwhile, Armored Forces holding the open in the south. But the north is in dire straits. Dire need of more reinforcement. More infantry needed there. More of everything, basically. Like, yeah, Armored is coming in, but if you can't spot anything, and that's why I think the zero recon was an issue. Like, if JKV would have had good recons around the map, his Armored Forces and his positioning could have been much better, whilst Nilla just uses infantry as basic as recon, basically. But for the armored playstyle of JKV, I think recon is even more important than for the playstyle of Nilla. And having a couple of nicely placed beobachters around the map makes the tank deck quite a bit more effective nowadays. The playstyle that JKV does right now is more of the old playstyle from end of last season, when tanks were basically able to spot anything on their own. And that's not quite the case anymore. SU-76 goes down in the south. Luck 41 comes in as well. Really coming up the hill. But quite a lot, yeah, a lot of units awaiting them there. They shouldn't go up there. That's will be the end of the Krillers, I'm pretty sure. SU-85 gets the first one. And the other SU-85 gets the kill on the other one. And Nilla's up to a 15-9 here. Pushes to south as well. Overwhelms the south as well, and yeah, this game was a bit more one-sided than the last one. It was again not a JKV map here, really. It was more of a map of Nilla's forte, I would say. But overall, I just don't see JKV winning against Nilla too often. Even on the, like, it's just a playstyle that doesn't fit, and he didn't really adjust for the Nilla, like, experience when it comes to his decks and so on. And that's a big mistake, like not being prepared for Nilla when you play him, and just playing like you would play against everyone else. Like, obviously, I don't want JKV not playing to his strengths. Like, he should still play his armored divisions. I mean, it worked out pretty well in game 1 and also in stretches of game 2. But stuff like the SK18 or so, there's no point in for that. Like, adjust your deck to your opponent still. Like, play your playstyle plus the small adjustments to the playstyle of your opponent, and then you're fine. But just trying to play the long game, expensive combined arms against Nilla doesn't work out. I mean, it was a bit better here now in the combined arms department, maybe a bit cheaper than in game number 1, but it still didn't work out, obviously. So yeah, that's maybe something JKV has to adjust if he plays against opponents like Nilla or like Quattro Ryu, for example, as well. Another Division 1 player that you just don't have to outtrade in the long run. You just have to stop them from doing the damage in the first 15 minutes. And win there, and then because also these two players fall off pretty heavily in the late game. As we saw, for example, in that Karma versus Quattro Ryu game on Orsha East. Like, in the late game, Quattro Ryu just got completely outclassed there by Karma. And I don't think JKV is much weaker than Karma in the late game. So, the question is, how do you get there? And SK18s are not the way. $19.5 here now for Nilla. Overwhelms more in the north. Or to Stalin. Might get killed off here by the SU-85s as well. One more SU-85 falling though. The ISU bouncing. 18.6 though, and 2 minutes 44 on the clock, so yeah, there shouldn't be much changing. Sure, we got now to C-phase, but there's nowhere near time, and nowhere near enough units on the battlefield right now for JKV to turn that in any meaningful way. M42 is really good at the Panzer Force as well, though. That's also a point. Like, Nilla's pick here was really good as well. Brown. Brown, thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Hope you enjoy the cast. As I really do. Like, I really enjoy the games we got here. And I hope JKV will still perform and get some victories against the other opponents that might fit him a bit better in their playstyle. Like, for example, a Grey Fox versus JKV game should be pretty cool. Though Grey Fox is also a really aggressive player, but in quite a bit of a different way than Nilla. And the Neff versus JKV game, I think we already had last season as well, and that was really beautiful. And I could see that being pretty cool this season too, because Neff is one of my favorite players when it comes to the Division 1. His playstyle is just pretty awesome. And I hope he does well this season. Too, we haven't seen him so far. His first opponent will be Eugen, the last remaining player in that group that we haven't seen either. And I can't wait to cast that series of Division 1. Then I also hope that I will get a time and so on to maybe cast a bit more of Division 2 and 3, and 4 and 5 also. But the focus in the group stage will be Division 1. And then in the playoffs I will try to cover as much as possible out of everywhere. Panzer 4 gets just the strike over here. 22 and 2 for nilla. Yeah, total collapse now on the side of JKV. That's what happens when you play against Maverick nilla, who gets a bit too much in there. Yeah, sign up is over by now. Like, you can sign up, but then you will only get onto the reserve list, but you can also find the information and so on there. And there you see all the brackets of the player. But yeah, GGVP here, 2-0. This time also getting the better in the kill sector. After JKV getting the better KD in the last one. Yeah, game number 1 was for sure the closer game, but game number 2 was still a good game. And also an educational one. Like, yeah, if you meet nilla on the ladder, be a bit more out for like stopping him, and yeah, maybe don't get all the combined arms up. Be a bit more in the moment and not in 5 minutes in the future. Okay, yeah. Steel Vision 2 is good by now, Knight. It wasn't at launch. I must say that myself. I kind of got it at launch because I saw the potential, not so much because I loved the game there. But I say now it's a really good game. Now it's also quite a bit better than Steel Division